You know, having a dog for a pet, something millions of Americans have. In fact, here in Austin, many restaurants even cater to you bringing your dog in. But right now, there's some fascinating research being done that looks at how dogs became attached to humans, unlike other animals. And joining us this morning, Dr. Adam Boyko, a Cornell University dog genomicist, I believe that's how I say it, and is going to be talking at a UT seminar today. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, so this is honestly fascinating to me. Tell me a little bit about, I think there's been all these studies done with dogs that have kind of been domesticated, but what exactly are you looking at? Because I understand it's a bit different.
Yeah, for this study, instead of looking at purebred dogs, we looked at what we call village dogs. So these are the dogs that kind of hang around, cities, towns, rural areas, just hang around people. We're not breeding them. Most of the time they're just, wandering around and like a natural population.
Sure. And so what have you found, I guess, in your research? I think this is the most interesting part about what you might have discovered.
So we looked at the genetic signatures in these dogs and we found a center of diversity in Central Asia, which we think indicates that there was an origin for dogs in Central Asia, which is something that we weren't able to see looking at purebred dogs because most of them just came from Europe and have undergone a lot of artificial selection and inbreeding.
So walk me through how you got started in something like this. I think people look at your title and think, wow, I mean, has it just been a love for dogs? How did you get
I've always liked
involved?
dogs,
Yeah.
but I'm a biologist by training.
Okay.
And when I went into genetics, the great thing about dogs is unlike lots of other organisms that you could study in biology, you can go out in the field and you just bring food and they come to you. So that's really nice.
Yeah.
And so it's just been a great species to study. In addition, there's a huge amount of diversity in dogs. There's a twofold difference in longevity in dogs, 100-fold difference in body size, all sorts of different behaviors and shapes are different. And so if you want to study the evolution of these traits, dogs are a great species to look at.
We do have some pictures, I believe we want to show of your travels. Tell me a little about this. You were collecting data. Walk me through what we're seeing here on some of this.
Yeah, so this is just, a regular island dog. They kind of all are sort of brownish. They have, single coat, short fur. They look a certain way, and they're great to sample. They're very easy to please, and so we just hopped around all the different islands in the South Pacific for this experiment right here, and we wanted to see if we could trace the origins of the Polynesian dogs, which they were brought by the ancient Polynesians as they colonized new islands.
And we talk about the wolf. I mean, I think people look at the wolf and think that's how it came to be with these dogs. What do you have to say about that?
It was a fascinating process of domestication. So dogs were the first domesticated species, and they came from the gray wolf. And a lot of people think maybe we took wolf pups and we brought them in, and that's how they became dogs. Right. But really, it's becoming more and more clear that the wolves were the ones that decided to domesticate. So we were a meal ticket. We were hunting big game, and they could scavenge off that game, and eventually became tame enough that they could do that successfully, and then we could start to use them for cooperative hunting, for guarding, and all sorts of different roles.
It really is fascinating. A lot of people will be interested in this. So if you would like to check out Dr. Boyko's talk titled Evolution Unleashed, the Patterning of Canine Genetic Diversity. It is happening this morning at 10:30 inside the Norman Hackerman building on campus. And guess what? It's open to the public, so you might want to really check this out. Doctor, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Good luck on your speech. Okay.